When shifting technology collides with fragile labor markets, the consequences can be sudden and severe. Senator Mark Warner just issued a stark warning about recent college graduates. He predicts unemployment will hit 30% within the next 2 years.
30%? That's staggering. What's driving his forecast?
Warner says it's based on what he's hearing privately from executives. He reports that he doesn't know a single firm where their incoming class of new hires isn't half or a third of what it was just a few years back. The concern isn't only layoffs, it's anemic hiring that slowly starves entry-level opportunity.
That really hits home when you think about families and young people. I've been on campus tours recently, and you can see the anxiety on parents' faces. There's this massive contrast between the promise sold to students and the harsh reality of mounting debt with shrinking job prospects.
And the data backs up those fears. Recent college graduate unemployment is creeping toward recession-era levels. The New York Fed has been tracking this closely.
What's particularly troubling is that this rise coincides with the rollout of large language models, combined with broader macroeconomic weakness. The timing isn't coincidental.
Right. And there's a real distributional impact here. For many 20-somethings, a liberal arts degree may protect humanity and critical thinking, but it doesn't always pay immediate bills. Some graduates might have actually earned more with a welding apprenticeship, which is a serious indictment of misaligned incentives.
Building on that point, I'm struck by how the tech sales pitch has shifted. It once promised to improve our lives, but now it sometimes reads as a case for accepting dystopia. Technology vendors increasingly present labor displacement as inevitable rather than as a problem we should solve democratically.
Exactly. That leads to these proposals from billionaire technologists. Elon Musk, for instance, says we'll have universal high income. But who would ultimately control that distribution? What would ownership of critical technology actually mean?
That's the essential question: ownership and accountability. Even generous income transfers don't redistribute power if key technologies remain controlled by a handful of corporations and investors.
The democratic deficit is real here. Decision-making is concentrated outside popular institutions. A universal handout administered by private oligarchs is fundamentally different from public solutions.
Let me make the political point explicit. Proposals without public control simply preserve oligarchic power. We risk crony capitalism, where firms operate like oversized government contractors, unaccountable to voters or markets.
And returning to the individual level, indebted graduates face bleak choices and rising insecurity. This isn't abstract. The policy response will determine whether a generation finds opportunity or precarity.
We need a broader debate on public ownership, accountability, and a renewed social contract. The question isn't only whether AI will change work, but who decides how those changes are governed.
The coming years may reshape work and wealth, but protecting democratic control and fair distribution remains a political choice, not a technological inevitability.